So bends, how many videos do you see in social media where training bodies and instructors are saying about getting around bends quicker and quicker, and how to improve your bodily position and how to get through the bend faster and cleaner? Well, this video isn't one of those, but it's going to look at the different aspects of bends that you might want to consider. Hello there and welcome. So bends, quite an important hazard and responsible for the scene of quite a few motorcycle collisions. Of course, we all think that just going around a corner, around a bend is a very simplistic thing to do, but unfortunately for a motorcyclist it's not always that simplistic, and there's a lot of elements to it. Now, I've previously done a video about bends in which we talk about using the limit point for limit point analysis. We've studied road positioning in more detail, and we've always said about using the golden rule of always be able to stop safely on your own side of the road in the distance that you can see to be clear. I think one of the problems in training sometimes when we talk about limit point analysis is that we can get very carried away with just chasing the limit point, and we stop thinking about other potential hazards that might contribute and have an influence on what our speed and position should be. So as we travel along this road here, it's a lovely sunny day, the road is dry and everything looks fine. But as we come around the corner, all is not fine. Now imagine coming around there on the national speed limit and travelling quite quickly. That would be very, very unhelpful. Now you could argue that the car should not have overtaken the pedal cyclist. The trouble with a lot of people is the pedal cycles are slow, they haven't got the patience to wait behind them, and they seriously misjudge the amount of time it's going to take them to be on the other side of the road to complete the manoeuvre. At least with the right hand bend, we've got the ability to move towards a leftward position, which opens up our view of the road ahead. It gets us seen earlier by an oncoming vehicle, and in the worst case scenario, hopefully we're further away from trouble than if we're in the centre of our lane or cutting the corner across to smooth that bend out prematurely, which of course we shouldn't be doing unless we've got an absolutely open view of the road ahead. So again, we've got a lovely sunny day, dry roads and a left-hand bend. Yet again, a driver has seriously underestimated the time and the distance it will take for him to get on the correct side of the road past a pedal cyclist. This is potentially impatience, or maybe it's just failing to appreciate what could happen. Now in this situation here, this road is a road that I've known for many years, and you could argue from the video, perhaps I should have been further out towards the right to open my view up earlier. The problem with left-hand bends is that to open that view up, you put yourself at risk of being struck by a vehicle coming towards you. The video may suggest that it was an option for me, but knowing this road as I do, and I revisited it again today and had a serious think about it just to self-check myself, there's no way that I want to put myself on offer out on the right of that bend in any degree, because experience tells me if I do that and something's coming the other way, we're looking at a head-on collision. So to move my motorcycle into the left on a left-hand bend restricts my view of the road ahead, and it stops me from getting seen earlier by an oncoming driver, which is what happened in this case. However, I felt as a compromise on road positioning there was no real alternative, and therefore my speed already had to be low just in case. This is why we talk about being able to stop safely in the distance that you can see to be clear. And I must admit, at this point I was considering whether I might need to go into the bushes. Fortunately, I did have enough room past that van. Sadly, we can't control what other road users do around us, and for the sake of a little bit of patience, this wouldn't have been a situation at all. Had I been a larger vehicle, I'd have been sticking further out into the road, he would have seen me, perhaps he wouldn't have gone for it, perhaps things would have been slightly different. However, it's a really good illustration why you shouldn't just go charging around corners even when you think it's okay, because you never know what you're going to find around that bend. I think one of the big messages here as well, from a rider's perspective, yes, absolutely follow your golden rule, but to drivers of other vehicles, Just because it's a pedal cycle and you think you're just going to sneak past it, think carefully before you commit to going onto the other side of the road, because you don't know what you're going to come up against. And when you can't see round a bend sufficiently, you should not be crossing the centre of the road. It's highly dangerous. We're on the same section of road again in this clip. A series of bends, we can see what's going on. This is why it's great to have cross views. Do you notice to the left there we saw like a light or a glimpse of whiteness? That's a vehicle coming towards us on the bend. So we can already start taking measures to deal with it. But did you notice something else through the trees to the left? And there we go, there's our next hazard. We were lucky here. Not a lot of foliage on the trees, some pretty good visibility, and if you're looking through those trees and you're observant, you're going to see little clues that could help you out. You might look at this clip and say, why did I go around that tractor? You haven't got a view past him. The camera's mounted to the left of my body, and I can tell you, when committing to that, I was certain I could go through. My view was not blocked sufficiently that I could not safely occupy that position to overtake in the first instance, clear the view, and then proceed. I would not go around a vehicle blind, trust me on that one. So I think the message of this video essentially is, don't go tearing round bends, try and get your views, and where there aren't any views, just be aware of what could be round that corner. You don't want to be a mascot on the front of a vehicle coming towards you. So until next time, ride safe and take care.